Asians are always somewhere in the media. Whether it's the pop music you hear on a playlist, actors in a famous movie, or even casual streams of a content creator, there's a little bit of yellow in every part of the entertainment industry. But it hasn't always been like this. Many individuals throughout different eras played a strong role in building it up to how it is today. And being a kid from the 2000s, I was born during a development phase where Asians were becoming mainstream. During that era, social media and other platforms weren't popular yet, so movies and television had all the attention. It was pretty rare to see someone that looked like me on screen, but one thing I always remembered was seeing some Asian person kicking some ass whenever they got some screen time. And that, of course, was all started by the legend himself, Bruce Lee. It's the 1970s, and Bruce Lee is an icon in popular modern media. His dominance led martial arts to become mainstream in American films. Everyone knew about his famous one-inch punch. But he wasn't just a fighter, he was a cultural bridge for Asian Americans. This influence only catapulted as we also started to see Jackie Chan, an actor from China who became popular on American television as he was known for doing his own stunts. So all that fighting going on in the scenes, it's not a hired professional doing it, that's him. Asians were seen as nerdy, frail, and scrawny at the time, but having a stereotype knowing how to fight, I'll take that. Outside of the film world, there's just one Japanese cartoon that was catching a bit of buzz. It's kinda corny though, everyone in that show's screaming and stuff. What is it called? Anime? Yeah, cringe. Okay. We had a cool kung fu thing going on, but we still don't have much more other than that. Enter YouTube. Around the mid-2000s, a shift started happening. With platforms like YouTube, the internet became a place where anyone who had a camera can record a video and press upload for the world to see. This was far different than what you would see in Hollywood or television. Everything was scripted and filtered, but YouTube had a characteristic of people being their genuine self. You could be a nobody posting on the internet, and that's what made it authentic. Upon this rise in the digital age, Kev Jumba and Nigihiga become a new face to Asian media. But they weren't martial arts or kung fu guys. They were funny, relatable, and regular people, just like us. And these sorts of unfiltered videos make them a lot more personable and easy to connect with, giving another dimension apart from Asians on film. More and more creators started popping up left and right, each with a different personality. I gotta say, there was a diverse amount of Asian YouTubers. There were dancers like D-Trix, to makeup channels like Michelle Fan, more cinematic videos with Wong Fu Productions, and even on the edgy side with Filthy Frank. A common theme with these creators was how they played onto the Asian stereotype, embracing the joke as well as voicing their own opinions when it comes to growing up Asian.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker!
All Asians have squinty eyes. We can get away with falling asleep in class, and if a professor or teacher were to tell us to wake up and open our eyes, we can say, well, that's kind of racist, sir.
I don't think people realize how big Nigihiga was for his time. He became the most subscribed YouTube channel in 2009, being like the Mr. Beast. Oh, and he also had a friend, Jeremy Lin. The insanity was a phenomenon that needs to be studied. First of all, Asians weren't usually tall, and second off, nobody saw Asians playing basketball, but this guy was averaging 22.5 points per game during his prime era. Whenever I played basketball in middle school and I made a good shot, people would be like, oh, Jeremy Lin, since there are only 2 Asian people in the NBA. There weren't and still aren't that many Asians in sports, but the ones that are in the leagues, people know them. During this time period of the early 2010s, there was a very popular song on YouTube going around too. Let's check up on this anime thing again. Oh, okay, we have something called Naruto. I like the concept. Yo, the fight seems sick. Wait, what is that? Yeah, no, anime is still cringe. Hey look, there's a new television sitcom starring an Asian family. Fresh Off the Boat follows a plot of Asian immigrants living in America. It seemed like the target audience was specifically for that demographic, so it wasn't really mainstream, but I still appreciate it for what it is. Oh, looks like there's another rising star coming up on YouTube who's also Asian.
Yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Ricegum back at the mic. How you guys doing, man? Episode 3 of A Day in the Life with Ricegum.
He seems like a friendly guy. I wonder where he's gonna go with this YouTube thing. The forefront of YouTube completely changed in the mid-2010s. Roast videos were the new hot thing, and everybody was making diss tracks against each other to stir up drama and gain publicity. New channels started to gain views and subscribers that we've never seen before, and the pioneer of this trend all goes to Ricegum. Ricegum has made his mark in the history of YouTube and has become a recognizable face in the media. The mid-2010s was also a time where YouTubers and music started to blend with each other. All within 2017, Ricegum releases his hit song Every Night Sis, Filthy Frank retires from YouTube and pursues his career as a musician under the name Joji, and the K-pop group BTS starts getting international traction with their single, DNA. Each of them were special in their own counterparts of music in the Asian space. Rice Gum's songs weren't to be taken as seriously, but it was enjoyable and it had a comedic relief. Joji released music that would play on the mainstream media outside of just YouTube, and BTS and K-pop was a completely different genre to explore for the Western world. Although K-pop had more of a tougher transition to media, the fanbase had a negative reputation for being overly obsessed teenagers fangirling over feminine-looking men, and Asians weren't seen as attractive at the time.
Do you like Asian men? No. Thank you.
Our features were a lot more softer than what you would typically see in a masculine figure, especially with us physically known to be smaller, shorter, with their most defining trait being this. So it took a while getting used to, but eventually, K-pop got bigger with their performances, music, and dancing. And with the ongoing change in beauty standards, Asians started to be seen as more attractive. Thanks K-pop for being the contributor for making Asians viewed as attractive. The ball kept rolling with the record label 88 Rising, who brought more Asian music artists to the spotlight, such as Nicki and Rich Brian. There was also a new movie release called Crazy Rich Asians, and instead of the action movies you would see back then, it was a love and romance plot. Let's check on this anime thing again. Yo, this anime is insane! Y'all can argue with me on this, but even though Dragon Ball and the Big Three were very popular, Attack on Titan was a show that made anime seem cool and not tied to cringe. We ended off the 2010s on a high note. But 2020? That's a bit of a different story. A whole lot of bad things happened through this year, but I'm only going to focus on the Asian media of it because that's the topic of the video. Anyway, Asians were known to be eating very not normal exotic foods, and word got around that some person in China ate a bat and started the pandemic, and now it's called the China virus. Obviously it was COVID, but from it being originated in China, it caused a setback in the Asian community with a little more racism, and then later on there was that Stop Asian Hate movement. This was the year where most people had to stay home and quarantine, which meant a lot of people had more time to watch videos. And this, combo with the rise of short form content, caused a boom in new creators. And just seeing all the different types of people post online just increased the overall diversity of the internet. Then Asian media began to bounce back. Once public places slowly opened up again, we got our first Asian superhero Marvel movie Shang-Chi in 2021, Squid Games, then Everything Everywhere All at Once in 2022, more K-pop groups, and anime was more popular than ever. Also, it looks like we have new faces of Asian influencers who evolved out of the TikTok quarantine era. JasonTheWeen. I know I poked fun at him for being an ABB in my last video, but apart from that, he's still a funny and entertaining guy. The shift in trends have changed a lot from the last couple of years, but you can still see a little bit of the past brushing off into the new generations. I mean, you can see it, right? The height seems to be reversed, but you can still see it. As of this present moment in 2024, the trending content is more of relationships and riz, and Asian media is at its high. Though there are a bit of questionable creators for the Asian community, at the end of the day, we've come a long way from where we started, and I'm happy to see our growth. Anyway, like the video if you enjoyed. I know I was a bit more negative in my last video, so I decided to spread more positive energy on this one, but yeah, peace.